We want to inspire kids to say that one day they want to wear that uniform. They want to wear that spacesuit. And get them fired up about, yeah, I want to be an astronaut. I want to work on aerospace engineering. I want to advance space flight. And I think what today is about is reigniting the dream of space.
All right, the SpaceX founder Elon Musk talking about how inspirational all of this is to kids. Kids understand weather. Kids might understand things getting scrubbed because of weather, and that's exactly what happened today. But it's delayed. It's not denied. They're going to try another day for this. Saturday, 3:22 p.m. Eastern Time is the next shot at this. In the meantime, I want to go to Kristen Fisher. Now, you might just say, all right, oh, I love Kristen. She's a great correspondent. She is a wonderful anchor and all of that. But she's also the child of astronauts, which explains why she's so smart. But she did not want to take that path. She was even called in her day America's first astrotot. I always loved that. Kristen, I mean, obviously you could hear from your parents and all as you grew older. I think you were very young, obviously, to remember their particular flights. But this is more routine than you think, huh?
It really is more routine than you think. And, you know, my dad actually scrubbed twice before he finally launched into space on the space shuttle. And just think about how disappointing it must be for these astronauts. He always talked about it because just think, you wake up in crew quarters, you're all excited, you have your last breakfast, so to speak, you leave crew quarters, you wave goodbye to your family, you do this dramatic drive to the launch pad, and then you wait for hours and hours and hours, and then you scrub, and you have to do it all over again. So as disappointed as I am, as you are, everybody watching, and of course NASA, SpaceX, and President Trump, and the Vice President who made the trip down from Washington, D.C. to be there at this launch today, I can almost guarantee you that no one is more disappointed than Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken, and they will try again on Saturday. But, you know, certainly it was the right call. There is no way that NASA or SpaceX was going to allow this first launch of American astronauts from U.S. soil to be dangerous in any way. In fact, the COO of SpaceX, Neil, she went so far in her effort to really try to humanize the very technical steps in terms of building this spacecraft and getting ready to get to this point today. She put the pictures of the two NASA astronauts on a lot of SpaceX work orders to remind employees of just what was at stake. So disappointing, but no doubt the right call.
You know, I'm glad they made the call they did and didn't succumb to pressure. I mean, it must be a lot of pressure, Kristen. Think of it. Look, Kristen, we had the President of the United States, the Vice President. They've arrived there. There's pressure. Oh, gosh, we got big cheese here. And the Vice President, we got to launch this thing. The whole world is watching. And they didn't succumb to that.
There's a word for it. They call it launch fever. And of course, there was quite a bit of discussion about would there be further pressure placed on NASA and SpaceX to launch if you have President Trump and Vice President making the trek all the way down there in the middle of a pandemic, no less. But the fact that NASA and SpaceX made this decision just shows you that they have the right protocols in place. It happens, as you said, it happens about 6 out of 10 launches, so this is nothing new. Happens all the time. It'll happen again, but hopefully Saturday's a go.
Never wanted to be an astronaut, huh?
You know, I think there's something to be said when both of your parents do something and they're really good at it. I definitely felt a little bit of a desire to make my own path in the world. But on days like today, I am seriously second-guessing my career choice, although being here with you and getting to be part of Fox's coverage of this historic launch is certainly right up there.
I think you made the right choice, Kristen, and we're delighted you did. I think America thanks you as well.
Aw, thanks.
Kristen Fisher, thank you very, very much. My best to your wonderful family.